What's up, y'all? Back with another video, this time on the Holy Paladin, doing a rated solo shuffle. This was my first one on the Holy Paladin, and I kind of goofed. So I was watching this video back, and I realized it didn't have any sound because my mic was muted the entire time I was playing. So there's not going to be any live commentary for this video. Instead, I'm going to talk a little bit about just some of the stuff going on in the solo shuffle pre-patch and just some concerns that I have in general and kind of my thoughts on everything. So the first thing that I have noticed is that on the beta, there are no specific rewards tied to rated solo shuffle other than the seasonal rewards and the rank 1 title. And this is kind of the same issue that rated battlegrounds falls into, where participation kind of just falls off because there's only rewards for 0.1% of the total population of people playing it. So it's either used to just kind of farm honor or get conquest. I hope they change this. I hope they make a specific reward. I mean, I don't really care what it is. It doesn't have to be, like the glad mount. I think everybody wanted it to be the gladiator mount. A mount would be cool, but just something to kind of incentivize people to play. I think more rewards are good no matter how you look at it. Next up is people leaving. So prior to this solo shuffle, I had two other rated solo shuffles that one of them I was 5-0 and the other one I was 4-0. And the enemy healer left both times. They just left, and there was essentially no penalty for them. And I know now, since this video has come out, there will be penalties for people leaving solo shuffles. But what I think they need to change is, for the people who are in the solo shuffle, they should at least get honor, maybe some conquest. Like they should be rewarded for having to wait in the queue, especially if you're a DPS and you have this full queue and then someone leaves. It just feels really bad for those people. So I think, at least giving them, just some honor, like basically have it be if they won 6, like how much honor would they get, how much conquest would they get, just some kind of reward. I think that would go a long way. Hopefully that's something that Blizzard changes. Next thing I've noticed in the pre-patch is there's a few outliers for DPS. I think everybody can agree that Demon Hunters are pretty strong. Warlocks are also pretty strong, but it seems to require a little bit more skill to have the setup, and also a little bit more gear. I don't know what that's going to be like at max level. I don't know what's going to be the best. We're just going to have to wait and find out. But yeah, that's just kind of what I've noticed over doing solo shuffles in the past week or so. And I guess I'll try and commentate a little bit of this match going on here. I had some very undergeared DPS on this one, and the healer that I was going against was a druid, and he was actually pretty good. I think both of us were pretty undergeared. The shadow priest was really good. This was a really interesting solo shuffle, because it's always interesting whenever you go against a really good druid, and I think the shadow priest was undergeared. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at his gear, but I just know that the the druid wasn't doing much damage at all. The feral druid was not doing much damage at all, and it was kind of coming down to, could I out mana this resto druid, and I was also forgetting that I had rebuke. I noticed that watching it back. I was like, man, I really need to get used to using rebuke again. I think there's one point in the solo shuffle where I use it and we both just kind of paused because I hadn't used it the whole time. It was kind of funny. It'll also be interesting whenever Dragonflight hits, whenever the Covenant abilities are gone, because I've noticed it's still pretty strong to have Vanquisher's Hammer and everything right now for Holy Paladin. I think 1 minute sacrifice is huge, but not having those big Light of Dawn heals will be interesting. I also haven't tried Evoker at all, and I've been hearing mixed reviews about it. Some people are saying it plays really bursty, some people are saying it's really boring, but we'll see how that goes. I'm going to level it. It'll probably be the last healer I level. I think I'll probably level the priest first, then the paladin, then the druid, then the shaman. So there will be a lot of leveling going on in those first 2 weeks, because my plan is to have every single healer at max before the season starts. So I don't know which healer I'm going to main either. It's either going to be my Holy Priest or Holy Paladin, because I've also been enjoying the Druid a little bit. So I went ahead and trinket here. The Feral randomly learned how to do damage, which was kind of interesting. I'm going to go Hodge the Resto Druid. He's going to trinket, and I'm going to immediately blind him. And it's going to send the Dark Glare over onto the DPS instead of hitting the healer. Looks like he did get out. And I'm just trying to keep the Shadow Priest up. He's actually pretty good. I think he just had no gear. So it's interesting, like we start, I don't know, really seeing the power of Shadow Cleave right here. We're winning the mana war a little bit. And I think right here I'm just using my Crusader Strike, so I don't have to cast anything. He's already used Blind, and I've still got Bubble available. So, and we have one more Blessing of Protection available as well. I'll be interested to see, like, once I think on when Dragonflight Season 1 hits, there won't be such a wide range of MMRs that you can queue into. I think right now you can be 2K and have someone on your team be, 1600 rating, and it's kind of been messing with everything. I guess they thought that not enough people would queue with the MMR system, so honestly I don't know why they did that. It was kind of goofy. And I think actually as of uploading this video they have also reset the ratings back to 0. I'm not sure why they did that either. Again, they've been doing some really goofy stuff in this pre-patch. But I think if they really wanted to test everything, they should have just opened up the gear to where you just buy the Conquest gear and it's already maxed out, because I don't think anyone really wants to farm a bunch of honor to have a set for just 2 weeks. I think right there I was just a little bit slow with dispelling that with the Fleshcraft buff, where it wouldn't have silenced me. I'm trying to blind the healer here. Pick up our... Looks like they're trying to bleed me and the priest, which, I mean, the Affliction has his Dark Glare set on me. And the druid's going for me, which this should be fine. Eat a full clone, ends up being okay. They're just tanking everybody because the druid doesn't have that much gear, but it is interesting because the warlock is still doing so much damage even though he's really undergeared. Yeah, I think they're really, really strong right now. Whenever, again, it'll be interesting to see how some of these classes perform once everybody's at max level, because if warlock stays the same, there have been several matches that I've done in 2s around like 2100 MMR where I have been out healed by the warlock. Like, me and the enemy healer both get out healed by the warlock by like 300k. Now that's geared warlocks. This warlock is obviously severely undergeared. Looks like the priest wants to open up on the warlock here. So I'm going with him, hitting him with a few Crusader Strikes, throwing the Vanquisher's Hammer. Probably should have dispelled there, but I ended up not dispelling. I'm not sure why I did that. I'm going to go for the Hodge. He's sitting it. He's DR'd. I guess the druid maybe stun him. Also don't have any add-ons in this solo shuffle. Since recording this, I have re-downloaded a few of them. Here's the... Now I'm going to blind him. I thought that was the kick that I was talking about. Oh, here it is. I kicked him right there. It was pretty funny because I hadn't used it the entire time. Rogue swaps to me. I still have bubble, so I don't really know what they're going for here. I do get a little bit low. I think I actually just had to bubble at the last second. Priest life grips me, which is really good. And honestly, this priest played really, really well. Going in for the Hodge. I think I'm going to utilize the bop here. Gonna top him. And he's going to start getting a little bit more pressure here since he can pretty much free cast. Here comes the mind games. I eat the full fear, unfortunately. I do have sack available, so we're never really scared of them dying. We're more scared of it happening to me because I don't have bubble. I do end up using sack here. He has dark glare out again. I tried to avoid the clone with freedom, but I think it ends up being game here in just a second. Well, maybe not. Use the Vanquisher's Hammer. Dampening ramps up so fast and he solo shuffles that. And the Druid's completely I've still got a little bit of mana. And go for the Hodge and blind and it's over. There we go. And this is the last match. It ends up being... I don't remember if it was difficult or not. I just remember these were two of the weaker DPS. And then I think I was taking a look at damage and healing there to see how it was stacking up. I actually changed my build after this one and got rid of Divine Toll and started using a different build, and it was working a lot better. Priest used Shadow Crash, trying to get his dots up on everybody. Looks like they're going on the Priest. I'm going to Hodge him. He trinketed instantly. Resto Druid came out of stealth. They're going on the Shadow Priest. They're actually doing a lot of damage, and they ended up just finishing him off right there. Wow. Alright, 5-1. Not bad. I'm ready for these to matter. I'm ready for it to not be the off-season. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these. Please subscribe if you're new here. We're getting super close to 500 subscribers. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.